Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If it's your first time checking out the show, let me know what city, what state you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the likes, smash up the likes, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'm going to let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But in the meantime, in the between time, I'm going to give some shouts out to the early birds, starting with dun, dun, dun. Robert Simmons. What's up, Robert? What's up, Robert? Chaos. What's up? What it do? Try James. What up? Alicia Smith, James Crosby, David Owens, Ronnie High, Brother Code. What up, Mr. Jock, Mr. J Rock, Lisa Owens, Black. Was that Black Ebb? Said Don. Don't need no man stopping, no man telling something. Don't need no man telling something. All right. What's up, Nana Bliss? J Mar, what's up? What up, sweet beloved? Who is that? Side King, Sidewide King, TT. There she go, China Carter in the building. What up? What's up, China? Who is that? Aurelio Fields? Aurelio, James Crosby, Nina Painter, Portia Lockett, Ingenious Venus. All right, fam, I'm going in. I'll come back to the comments later, but I'm going in right now. It's going down, fam. We're going to talk about this ex-Michigan coach who blew $13 million on some butt. Yeah, fam. Boy got caught up in an extramarital affair. They fired him. This woman flipped out on him. The side piece flipped out on him. Boy just turned suicidal. It's just a very sad case of not being able to control your manhood. We got people who are fleeing the United States from Mexico to get dental work. What say you? Why? What the hell? What's going on? You mean that Mexico has superior dental services over the United States of America? One of the greatest country, you let some people tell it. The richest country, you let some people tell it. Anyway, yeah, that's going on. We got Joy Reid on Stephen A. Smith's head. Oh, you definitely gonna want to know what she had to say about Stephen A. Smith. Joy Reid was not playing any games with Stephen A. And she let it be known. I don't like you. I don't like you. Donald Trump says that black people know a scam better than anybody. What did he mean by that? Yeah, what exactly did he mean by that? We are going to try to get to the bottom of that, right? We got a Colorado Springs officer who fired at a man who pointed a BB gun at him. Oh, yeah, you're going to love how this worked out, fam. Oh, man. Spoiler alert. Double standards. Yeah, man. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. And also, fam, we have Jermaine Dupri. Jackson 5, Jermaine Dupri. I'm saying Jermaine Dupri. Jermaine Jackson. Jermaine Jackson from the Jackson 5, from the Jacksons, one of the founders one of the founding members of the Jacksons, is in the news. And I think we're going to start off the news with Jermaine Jackson. This is kind of a soft story, but, I think it's a very telling story. So Jermaine was recently leaving an airport and a woman filmed him and she zoomed in on his hairstyle and started clowning him. Y'all check this out and tell me what y'all think about this. Did she go too far?
Sister Jermaine! Tell we better hope it don't rain outside. Look at his damn head. Jermaine, you around that pole? He trying to hide that damn hair.
Okay, y'all saw it, fam. Jermaine Jackson just minding his own business, walking through the airport. Some woman starts to film him, calls his name, starts laughing at his hairdo. Too much? Or, hey, man, somebody got to tell him. Too much or somebody need to tell him. What's your position? Give me a thumbs up if you think that was called for. Give me a thumbs up if you think it was called for. She should have called him out. Thumbs down if you say, nah, man, she took it too far. Let me see where y'all at with it. Let's see where y'all at. I got my position, fam, but I want to see where y'all are. Let's see. Mary say down, took it too far. Lisa down. Let's see. Brother Code down. HB down. Latoya down. T. Gallagher up. China Carter down. Karen down. All right, fam, I think I got enough evidence over here. I think I got enough. The thing is this, fam. Hold on right here. Leave that man alone. Who cares? Yeah. It's his hair, not hers. Yeah. My thoughts exactly. It looked like everybody was pretty much against that except one person. One person thought it was cool. Somebody needed to tell him. I think somebody do need to tell him, but it was not her position to be that somebody. She don't know that man. She don't have no relationship with him. He don't owe her nothing. Leave people alone, man. Leave people alone. That man got a right to wear his hair however he see fit. Imagine somebody walking up to you with your hairdo, and it's something that they don't agree with. You might think you player, you might think you live as hell, but they see something wrong with it. Do they get to just walk up to you and call you out? I mean, I'm talking about a stranger. I'm not even talking about your spouse. I'm not talking about your kids, your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother, your cousin, your best friend. I'm talking about a regular old person. I'm not even talking about your coworkers or your boss. I'm talking about a regular old person. You don't know from a hole in the wall, walks up to you and critiques your hair. Do you take offense to it? Or do you say, you know what? I'm glad you pointed that out. Let me get over here and fix this crooked wig. See, that's how people get their heads knocked off. It's too many people who believe that just because they know somebody through the internet or on TV or whatever, they think that gives them the right to step to somebody and say whatever the hell they want to say. See, I'm going to tell you straight up, fam. If her teeth would have got relocated, I would have been like, yeah, she asked for it. Yeah, she asked for it. Leave people alone, man. The man ain't bothering you. The man minding his own business. Jermaine Jackson been wearing his hair like that for decades now. Everybody know. Jermaine has heard the rumors. He's heard people talking about his hair before. I'm sure at least one child said, hey, Dad, don't do that. At least one kid said it. If nobody else would tell you about yourself, your kid would tell you about yourself when they get in a safe space, even if they respect you. If they get in a safe enough space, like maybe like on the phone, they're gonna tell you. And by the way, Dad, since you think you're so perfect, you need to fix that paint in your head. Paint goes on things, not people. So wrong, she out of pocket. She's dead wrong. Some people think that it's cool to just sit back and people watch and critique people. Usually the people that do that, they're totally flawed. In fact, all the time, people that do that type of stuff, that try to pick people apart, they're flawed themselves. And oftentimes they try to pick people apart to take the tension off of their flaws. This chick is obviously a problem. Some people may look at that and say, man, you're making a big deal out of nothing. No. Let me tell you how bad something like that can get. Something like that can get you killed. I'm going to give you a case in point. So that was this girl that I knew. You heard what I just said. I'm talking in past tense. That was this girl I knew. She used to walk up to people, strangers, and just start talking about them. Not straight to their face, but more like in an earshot. She'll get close enough to you where you can hear what she's saying about you. Ooh, that's an ugly dress. Ooh, she needs to take that off. Ooh, look at his haircut. Ooh, is that a bump on? He got bumps on his neck. She would say, this is crazy. Yeah, I know. This is crazy. This girl used to do stuff like that. And I warned her, somebody gonna kill you. You keep on. You're gonna mess around and get your head knocked off. She thought it was funny. I'm just being real. They don't like it. Talking all that tough talk. All that tough talk. And she did this for years. She did it all the way up into her 20s. She was that same person, always talking about people, walking around talking about people, pointing people out, just talking about people. For no reason, just to entertain herself and to bring attention to herself. Because she would do it when she was around other people, trying to impress people, trying to laugh and be entertained at other people's expense. Yeah. Well, as always, she did it one time too many. See, what happens is when people do bad things, when people make mistakes and those mistakes are not corrected, when they don't have to be punished for making bad decisions, what happens is in their mind, they start to rationalize that these are not bad decisions at all. I'm not really making any mistakes. Hey, I'm just being me. Hey, I'm just keeping it real. Well, she was keeping it real. And she ended up keeping it real dead. Because what happened was, she said that to a dude one day. Buddy looked back like, what you say? Yeah. And they start. And Buddy pulled out that hammer and boom. Bust her right in the head. Now she dead. Leave people alone. Everybody ain't playing. Just because you got away with it, you've been getting away with it. don't mean you're going to keep on getting away with it. You saw what happened to the dude, the YouTuber, who got killed, who got gunned down. Him and his wife got gunned down in Vegas earlier in the year. You remember that? Yeah. Better leave people alone. Life is already complicated enough. Your life is already complicated without you going messing with people. All you got to do is keep on waking up. Trouble gonna find you. Trouble is extremely resourceful. Trouble will find you. You ain't got to go looking for trouble. So when trouble finds you, if you got your resources, then perhaps you can defend yourself. You can deal with trouble if it finds you. But if you go looking for trouble, you ain't got a foot to stand on. Yeah. So she lost her life trying to be funny. Died in vain. Died on the restaurant floor. Blood all over the place. Just dead. Dead as a doorknob. No more jokes. No more laughter. But guess what happened? The people who she was trying to make laugh and she was trying to impress, they went on about their life. They went on about their life. They're still laughing at stuff right now. They're probably watching a comedy show right now, laughing. Or maybe they standing around laughing at another damn fool who trying to make fun of people. They went on about their life. She is in the ground at a cemetery, rotting away. Better leave people alone. Jermaine Dupri don't mess. I keep saying Jermaine Dupri. I say Jermaine Dupri because that's my homeboy. But Jermaine Jackson don't mess with nobody. Jermaine Jackson minds his own business. Jermaine Jackson's kids mind their own business. His wife minds her own business. Those people don't mess with nobody. Leave people the hell alone before you get your damn head knocked off. Because everybody ain't playing. Trying to get some damn likes for the internet. Switching gears, fam. We got an ex-Michigan coach, Sherrone Moore. Let me get this guy up on the screen because you're going to like Sherrone. Look at Sherrone. Why is Sherrone looking like that? Sherrone is looking like that because he just blew $13 million having an affair with his assistant, the chick on the right. $13 million over some booty. Family. Oh man, you got to get into this. You got to get into this story. Ex-Michigan coach Sherrone Moore remains in police custody under investigation after being fired for inappropriate relationship. Former Michigan head coach Sherrone Moore remains in police custody on Thursday after he was fired for calls on Wednesday and then detained by police for investigation into potential charges. Michigan said Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. According to ESPN, no decision on charges is expected Thursday, and Moore is set to appear in court for arraignment on Friday. This is according to Michigan. This is the statement that was released. head football coach Sherrone Moore has been terminated with cause, effective immediately. Michigan Athletic Director Ward Manuel said in a statement, following a university investigation, credible evidence was found that Coach Moore engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. dude, you making $13 million. You got a $13 million contract, and you messing with a chick that ain't even making six figures. You lose everything to a chick who can't even help you replace your income. Come on, man. Moore, according to Wetzel, was then detained by police in Saline, Michigan, which sits just south of Ann Arbor. On Wednesday night, he was turned over to police in Pittsfield Township for an investigation into potential charges. Moore was eventually taken into custody at the Washtenaw County Jail. Officials said that was done after an alleged assault investigation that took place early on Wednesday afternoon, and that the incident does not appear to be random in nature. Further specifics about the incident or any charges that Moore may be facing are not yet known. Michigan named associate head coach Biff Poggi as the team's interim coach. So here's Moore, 39 years old, who was hired as Michigan's head coach in 2018. And, looked like everything was going great. Looks like everything was going great. He was the Wolverines' offensive coordinator during their undefeated national championship run through the 2023 season. And he was promoted to replace Jim Harbaugh when Harbaugh left to become head coach of Los Angeles Chargers. That made Moore the first Black full-time head coach in Michigan history. And just like that, he blew it. Moore finished 18-8, leading the Wolverines. They went 8-5 during his first season at the helm and just finished a 9-3 run this past season. He won his first two games against Ohio State in their rivalry matchup too, including one in 2023 when he was serving as the interim head coach while Harbaugh was suspended. Ohio State beat Michigan's 27-9 last month. Michigan is set to take on Texas in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl later this month, too. Now, look, fam. This dude, let's look at the money. Moore had 3 years left on his initial 5-year deal with Michigan, according to USA Today. Michigan paid Moore about $6.1 million for the 2025 season. Woo! His payout earlier this month was just shy of $14 million. But since the school has fired him for cause, the Wolverines will avoid having to pay Moore's buyout altogether. You big dummy! Man, how hard is it, bro, to keep the thing in your pants and pull it out when appropriate? Come on, man, you're 39 years old. By the time a man is 39 years old, he's supposed to know better. Okay, let's take into account that, hey, men mature at a later age and all this kind of stuff, right? But once a man does mature, he's supposed to know better. And by the time you hit those mid-30s, by the time you hit those 30s, but especially in the mid-30s, you're supposed to know all the do's and the don'ts. He's supposed to know better. Come on, man. And you got a wife and kids, and you blow the bag like that. Come on, man. Come on, Sharon. Come on, Sharon, man. How you blow the bag like that? How you blow the bag like that? If you want to mess around, I'm not saying this is a good idea. I do believe that men should do their best and women should do their best to be loyal, be faithful. If you're in a relationship, if you want to cheat, You don't really have to cheat because all you got to do is just let the person know, look, I'm not with that. I'm not with this. I'm not with you. This is what I'm doing. This is how I get down. You down with that? You cool with that? Yeah, cool. Okay, let's go. You ain't cool with that? Okay, cool. Well, this is what I'm doing. You want to meet me? This is what I do. It ain't that hard. There's somebody for everybody. If that's the life you want to live. But this dude, just imagine how embarrassing that is for his kids and his wife. Imagine. You did that. I would be, fam, I would just because of how things turn out so often, I would be very cautious. I would be spooked about having an extramarital affair, especially if I'm a black man, especially with a white woman. I would be extremely spooked. Because here's the deal. I don't know, some of y'all better pull up a chair. I'm going to tell you something I know. First of all, if you have an extramarital affair and you are a prominent person, even if you're not a prominent person, but if you're a prominent person, not only does that person you have an affair with have something on you, they have something on you double, because now you are a prominent figure. And that's a lot for somebody to have on you. Women in general, we've seen enough cases where women have went to the doorsteps of the women who messed around with their men and said, hey, this is what's going on. Women will make that phone call and let you know you're messing with my man. Even Betty Wright and Shirley, y'all remember that? Shirley called and said, hey, I think it was Shirley was one who had the man who messing around. Anyway, it was some phone call. The ladies know what I'm talking about. There was a phone call on a Betty Wright record. I think it was, the record was called Woman to Woman. And the woman called to tell the other woman about the fact that she was messing with her man. The women gonna tell on you. They gonna tell. Especially white women. If you black, she gonna pull that card, bro. The moment she figure it out, you don't want to rock with her? You ain't rocking with her no more? Now she finna expose you. So if she expose you, see, he don't have the problem with just having to be confronted by his wife. Because of his position and because of the position that he had over her, the power he had over her, he put his job in jeopardy. He put his job on the line for some tail. He put his job on the line. Let me tell you something, fam. Even if it's not written in the bylaws, even if it's not part of your contract, it's not a good idea to have sexual relations with a woman who you work with. That is a bad, bad idea. Even if you're the boss, even if you own the company, it is not a good idea. Now, it's going to be tempting now. It's going to be tempting. Not necessarily for a man who's a man of valor, a man who can hold his own. I'm saying for that woman, because women like bosses. Women like bosses. So, whereas she may not have given you the time of day if you're just a regular Joe Blow up the street or whatever, she met somewhere or whatever, but you stroke her checks and you call the shots. It's something that being a boss, it does something to a woman's body. Ladies, feel free to join in. It does something to a woman's body. It gets them in a certain type of mood, and yeah, I'll try my best not to be graphic about this, but ladies, you help me out, ladies. I'm trying to get through this right here. Help me out, ladies. But ladies love bosses. Ain't no doubt about it. Ladies love bosses. So if you're the boss, you're going to have action. But here's what you have to be careful about. You got to be careful about the woman turning on you. It can happen easily. It don't matter how innocent it start off, don't matter how sweet she appears to be. I'll give you a case in point. When I first started my record company, the first record company I started, Wise Up Records, I had an office in the Galleria, and this office was live, right? I had it laid out, fam. Man, I had a $5,000 phone system. I spent like $15,000 on the reception area, in the desk and all that stuff. I had a credenza in there worth $8,000, sofa, $10,000. I'm carpet this thick, it's plush. So I'm like, I got to get me a stunner in the front. So when people pass by, So I hired this girl for eye candy purposes, mainly, and she wasn't going to have to do a whole lot, but just answer the phone, be the face, when people pass by, the glass open, you can see straight through as people pass by, they can see you. And it's very inviting, right? So, and it's very impressive when artists come by to visit and things like that, or just business-wise, it's just a good look, right? So the mistake I made was I hired a chick who I had tried to holler at before. Now, she turned me down. It wasn't brutal, but she turned me down. But we stayed in touch. So when I needed somebody to fill that role, I thought of her. Well, I only thought of her strictly for the eye candy purposes because by this time I'm married and I already know I'm not finna go there with her. First of all, just hiring her. I'm only at this time, I think I'm like 27, maybe 28, but I knew that you don't have sexual relations with people that you work with. It's just a bad idea. Bad stuff happen more often than not. So I already had made up my mind that I wasn't going to try to make no move on her when she accepted, the job. I already knew. I was like, she off limits. I'm not going to even try to do nothing, right? I already know in my mind, I'm not going there. So I had made it a point that no matter what, I was not going to cross that line. Well, and plus, here's the deal. Yeah, because if you cross that line, now she can come back and say, you did this to her, you did that. She's expecting something that she ain't supposed to be getting, right? And she also holds, if you're married, she holds something over your head where she can call you a woman at any time, right? So I already know that's off limits. Oh, she bad. She totally off limits. So I noticed right away that she is extra nice to me, like being extra nice. She come to bring me the reports on, the radio stations, the radio station reports. And reports for the streets and stuff like that. She bring me the reports, and she standing behind me, trying to brush her breasts on my back and stuff, like against my shoulders. So I'm like, I'm trying to be cool about it and not overreact to it, right? But really, she really on some sexual harassment stuff at this point. She crossing the line. So I shut it down, and then fast forward, she starts to show up to work late. So she show up work the first time late. And I give her a warning because I know you got to teach people how to treat you. So I give her a warning the first time that she show up late. I say, look, you start getting paid at 10 o'clock. When you walk through the door, you don't get paid. I say, you start getting paid when you walk through the door, and your time is 10 o'clock. So if you walk in the door at 10:15, 10:05, 10:30, you're going to get docked. Well, I gave her a warning. And then about 2 weeks later, she comes in late. She's like 30 minutes late. I dock her. She get her check, and she's offended that she was docked. She gets offended. And she gets aggressive. So I shut it down all the way. I fired her and everything. Now imagine if that all this would have happened and she had something on me. Imagine what would have happened if I had made a move on her. Imagine how much ammunition I would have given her. Imagine if if I had made a move on her, or she made a move on me or whatever, and we did something. Imagine what she would have done if I would have fired her. She finna pick up the phone and let my wife know everything that's going on, right? That's what she's gonna do. So my thing is, people already got a gun. Don't give them the ammunition to shoot you. I don't believe in giving my enemies ammunition. I don't believe in giving anybody ammunition. I don't like the idea of somebody having some dirt on me. I don't like that. So I avoid those type of situations where somebody can have some dirt on me. I avoid those type of situations. So I'm telling you, fellas, if you got a gig, and it's one on the job or whatever, and you digging her, hey man, you better hold it down, man. Just don't cave in. Don't cave in. Ladies, don't cave in. And it's so much sex going on in the workplace. It's so much cheating going on in the workplace you wouldn't imagine. It's so many people in the workplace sleeping with their coworkers, sleeping with their bosses. Some of y'all listening to me right now, sleeping with your bosses. You're sleeping with your coworkers. I know you. I know you. I see you too. I see you. Boom, just like that. This dude lost all the money. 14 million. 14 million. Just like that. See, I don't play with my money. I don't play with money. I'm gonna tell you something else I don't do. I don't mess around with women who are with my business partners, my business associates or friends. I don't mess around at all. I don't play that. I don't play none of that at all. You'll never hear about, Willie D took his homeboy. Nah, I don't play that. I don't play that. I know some of y'all might get confused because I wrote a song about it, called The Cleanup Man. And that was just a warning to the fellas. That's all that was, pretty much. I just used myself in first person and to give y'all a warning, but let you know the cleanup man is out there. But, I don't get down like that. You'll never hear about, Willie D stepped out with his homeboy girl, or he messed with his homeboy wife, or he messed with his business associate wife. I don't do that. I don't get down like that at all. I don't get down like that at all. That's besides the fact that it's dangerous. Ain't nobody messing with my money. Ain't no honey worth my money. Y'all can use that. I need to write that down. That's pretty tight. Ain't no honey worth my money. Yeah, man. Ain't no honey worth my money. I don't play that. And here's the thing too, fam. Here's the thing. When you mess around in that workplace, you mess around with somebody who your significant other knows, who they have a relationship with, and they find out, these are the things that can send a person into a rage more than anything. When you've been playing in their face the entire time, when they find out that person that you've been with, been in their house, eating their food, all up sitting on the couch, sucking up air, being entertained, drinking their drink, smoking their smoke. When they find out that person has been the same one smiling in their face all that time, speaking to them, being cool and all that, that's a different type of hurt. Y'all better stop playing, because everybody ain't playing. Family, in Mexico, they have an area. I didn't know that they had an area in Mexico where you can go to and get help for, dentistry help. And it's extremely inexpensive. I had no idea. I heard about people going to Mexico to get certain procedures, operational procedures and stuff like that. But I didn't know that there was actually a hub for dentistry in Mexico. Yeah. Check this out right here. Where is it? Right here.
First thing in the morning, all Americans coming across the border to get their dental work done. First thing in the morning, all Americans coming across the border to get their dental work done. He said, I know, right. We're all coming to get our dental work done because it's so expensive in America. You think? It's actually disappointing, isn't it?
It is.
I
mean,
no, it's disappointing.
One front tooth, they wanted $3,000 for an
What?
wow.
And how much are they charging you down here?
$900.
Exactly, $900. Look at this, all Americans coming across the border.
Well,
but yet we have the wall up.
I got it for $10.
They say all Americans coming across the border to get their dental work, yet we're the ones with the wall up. I ain't got no problem with that, but some of y'all do, so let's talk about it. Why is it that so many Americans are crossing the border to get dental treatment, to get surgical procedures? Why? I thought we was like the richest country in the world. I thought we was the country. We was the country that had the greatest health care available. I thought we was that country, because that's what our politicians tell us. I mean, I've lived in different countries and I've seen the healthcare system in those countries operate, and they're superior to the United States healthcare system. But I just wanted to know what y'all thought about it, because every time I turn on television or I see one of these clips on the internet and our politicians are talking about healthcare, they're talking about how superior ours is, especially Donald Trump. He's always talking about how superior our healthcare system is. Well, he actually talks about it's superior and how much better it's going to be. He don't like Obamacare, but everything else is cool. All the other healthcare products out there, A-okay. He just don't like Obamacare. I wonder why. I wonder why you don't like Obamacare. Personal choice, just personal choice, I guess. But anyway, fam, yeah, they're going to Mexico to get dental work done. Yeah, I didn't realize that it was such a disparity in price. I mean, I heard it was cheap, but also I didn't realize that they had doctors over there that were actually superior to doctors in the US. When I hear Mexico, I got to keep it a buck, fam. When I hear Mexico and Mexico doctors and stuff, I just think about somebody in a back room of a salon, that ain't got no license, operating on people and chopping people. I don't really think of Mexico like that. I guess I've been drinking the Kool-Aid or something. But according to the woman who was recording that particular video, Mexico has superior dental services, and they're way cheaper. According to the woman who said she just had some dental work done for just one tooth. She said in the US, they were trying to get $3,000 out of her, and she ended up paying $900. So for a third of the cost, she was able to get the same work done. And that's a lot of people going over there. I guess my hesitancy would be the fact that I got to cross that border. And if you make a wrong turn in Mexico, I guess I'm still be reading the headlines and stuff, because I hear about people making a wrong turn and ending up in gang territory or whatever, and they get killed, kidnapped, and all kinds of stuff. So I don't think I'd just be walking across the border to Mexico to save some money. I'd rather not walk across the border to Mexico and save my life. But at the same time, not saying Mexico is any more dangerous than the United States, but I'm pretty much kind of like sticking to the devil I know, right? I know the terrain in the United States. I know the terrain. I know how to move around. I know how to get around. I know what's over there. I know if I go over there, that's what's over there. I know if I go over there, that's what's over there. I know the US like the back of my hand. If I go, and I know like certain other countries, like I know Azerbaijan like the back of my hand. I know Azerbaijan. I lived there for 10 years. I know it like the back of my hand. I know Paris, not necessarily like the back of my hand, but maybe the front of my hand. I know Paris. I know Paris because I lived in Paris for a while. But Mexico, man, I be hearing about too many people turning up missing in Mexico and people getting killed by gang members and stuff in Mexico. Like I'm in Houston. I know where the gangs are. I know where the gangs are. I know where the gang territories are. I know what to avoid. I know how to move. So I'm not going to accidentally turn on the wrong street. I'm not going to accidentally walk into an apartment complex that's been overtaken by gangs. But I wonder what Trump would have to say about this. Trump would probably call this fake news. Yeah. He'd probably be like, yeah, this is fake news. Don't believe him. Don't believe him. So here it is. Here's a piece of the story. So this person named Dimples Queen, this is the person I'm assuming recorded this video. And this is a woman who travels around the world. And she says that the irony with the wall in the background, she says, just to be clear, my mom and I both voted for Kamala, and my little brother is Mexican. I don't want no misunderstandings. We team Mexico over here. Shame on the American healthcare system. If you need to go, I went to. If you need to go, I went to. Okay, If you need to go, I went to, who is this person? Dental Solutions. I'm not familiar how to pronounce that city. Algodones, Algodons or something like that. And she says she recommends a 10 out of 10. They did a great job and I will be returning. See my last post for details and follow for updates. This is Los Algodones. I'm thinking that's pronounced Algodones or Algodones. I'm thinking Algodones, Mexico. It is 15 minutes from Yuma, Arkansas, and also Baja, California. 4 hours from Los Angeles. It is a small dental town with over 300 dental clinics, all in one area, like less than a square mile. It is full of dentists, optometrists, pharmacies, and med spas. Go visit. I tag my dentist above. They charge $50 for cavities in the back and $4.50 for crowns. Cleaning is included if you get a service and leave a review. So there you go, fam. If you want some alternative dental services, and you're willing to make the trek, go to Mexico. Go to Mexico. I guess it's safe. It appears to be safe. At least this part appears to be safe. Yeah, it appears to be safe. I don't see why. I think American politicians should be embarrassed to see a video like this. Like, if I'm an American politician and I see something like this, I'm making that one of my platforms. I'm going to go in and I'm going to champion Americans having their dental work done at a reasonable price in America. The problem here is capitalism. It's profits over people. This is why everything is so high here. Even, look, fam, we got it so bad here that they charge us a premium for good food. If you want to eat good food, if you want to eat healthy food that ain't full of carcinogens, you have to pay more money. So if you want to live, you got to pay more money. You either pay more money or you die. That's cold-blooded. Why are we paying more for food that's organic? You're not putting anything in the organic food. It doesn't require anything additional. It doesn't require additional ingredients. So why do we have to pay more for organic? And even when you pay more for organic, you don't even know if you're getting organic. Because I've been hearing stories about Whole Foods that have been putting half organics on the shelves. What's up with that, Whole Foods? Y'all low down for that, man. If that's true, y'all dirty for that, man. And how do you know anyway? How would you even know? They said, well, it's got to, if you're buying produce, you buy number 5, or I think they say number 5 or this or that, and this is how you can tell if it's organic. Say, man, that's just a sticker. That's just a sticker. That's like me being from Houston and going to Africa and somebody saying you can tell that I'm African because I got a sticker on my chest that say African. That's crazy. That don't even make sense. They got us, y'all. They doing it to us. They doing it to us. I do not like this. If I was a politician, I would be embarrassed that my citizens are going to another country just for dental work, to get their dental work. I would be embarrassed, but they're not embarrassed because it don't bother them. They don't have to go to Mexico to get their dentistry. They have top doctors. They get the best treatment. They got the best medical plans. Yeah. They straight. So they don't give a damn. They're like the rest of us, man, you get it how you get it. Get it out the mud if that's what it takes. That's the way that's the way they deal with us. Get it out the mud. That's what they think about us. Family, we got this story of a police officer who pulled up at the scene of the crime. And so let me tell you, let me give you a little bit backstory before I play this video. And trust you me, you're going to want to watch this video because it is going to blow your mind to see how they deal with this situation. Let me just put it like that. So I'll just read an excerpt. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Here we go. Colorado Springs, Colorado. On Thursday, November 13, 2025, at 11:28 p.m., Colorado Springs Police Department received a call for service of a burglary in progress, potentially involving a firearm in the 500 block of South Nevada Avenue. The caller stated that earlier in the evening, a man had been at the location and had assaulted an individual, leading to a brief fight. The man left, threatening to return with a gun. The reporting party stated the man in question had now returned and was banging on his door and was potentially armed with a firearm. At approximately 11:41 p.m., a CSPD officer arrived on scene. The officer did not observe any active disturbance and was attempting to contact the reporting party from the 911 call. As the officer was walking toward the reporting party's room to contact him, the reporting party emerged from behind a locked hallway security door. About 2 seconds later, 3 individuals, 2 males and a female, exited a separate room into the walkway between the reporting party and the officer. And here's where things get extremely interesting for all of us. Check it out.
Yeah, dude, keep freaking well.
George 25, shots fired, shots fired. George 25. I've got one Hispanic male with an AK style rifle. Hey, the end of the hallway on the left, somebody came out with an AK style rifle, pointed it at me. I shot.
Right there?
I can't tell. That's why I ran down here, because there's no cover up there.
Right here, over here.
Hey, it's him, it's him.
No, we need help, we need help.
It's him, it's him, it's him.
2 people are shot.
Get on your face.
2 people are shot, I promise.
Okay, fam. So see the guy who just had his hands up? That's the guy who had the AK rifle, which turned out to be a BB gun, right? Turns out to be a BB gun. But the police didn't know that. He thought it was the real deal. He thought it was a real assault rifle, right? The police who saw this guy point the gun at him and saw this guy come back out on the balcony and raise his hand and say, hey, somebody's been shot. He didn't shoot at him. He didn't say, get out, you dirty low down mother. Get out, get your ass. I'm going to kill you, mother. You shot at me. You pointed a gun at me. None of that. He was just like, okay, I'll be up there. Do you know that they politely arrested him and took him to jail? The guy who pointed the fake gun, what they thought was a real gun, which they thought was a real gun, at the police. He points a big old gun at the police and nobody gets killed. And hit a couple people, but nobody got killed. Not only did nobody get killed, they didn't even try to kill nobody. The guy gets to come back out and walk up to the police and say, hey, somebody got shot. No carnage, no casualties, just a nice, clean arrest, and everybody go home. Now, here's the deal. That's what we would like to see, but we'd like to see that consistently. We like to see nobody's advocating for the police to kill people. Lord knows they don't need advocates. They got enough. They don't need no encouragement. Because they ain't got no problem killing. So they don't need any encouragement. But the way that they pick and choose when they're going to escalate, when they're going to de-escalate, the way they just gun down innocent people so often. How many times do we see a week the police killed a person that was unarmed? The police kill unarmed people all the time. How does the guy who they thought had a gun for real get to be arrested, walk away, and live to tell the story? How does that happen? I'll tell you how it happens. Bias, implicit bias. We all have implicit biases. But when you have implicit bias, and you are a police officer, you can get somebody killed. You can kill people. You can destroy lives. When you have implicit biases and you are a judge or a prosecutor, you can destroy lives. When you have implicit biases and you are an educator, you can destroy lives. You can make a kid feel that they're worthless, that the only thing they can become in life is some person who is just mowing yards for a living. You can make that person think that they can achieve nothing more than an entry-level position somewhere. When you have implicit bias and you have that type of power over people, you can destroy lives. You can destroy lives when you have implicit bias and you are a politician. And I'm saying you can, but we all know they have throughout history destroyed lives with that implicit bias. See? So you can have implicit bias, and as long as you ain't got no position of power, it don't really too much affect anybody. You really can't really exercise any power over that person. But if you're in a position where you can affect a person's livelihood or you can affect their future in some kind of way, educators, doctors, prosecutors, judges, politicians, You can destroy lives, and we got millions of them roaming this country. It's millions of these uncivilized mutts all over the place. I do not believe a black man would have survived that situation. Not at all. I do not believe a black man would have survived that situation. They are bloodthirsty to kill black people. That's right, I said it. I said it. Hey man, if I was lying, I could understand if you were upset with me. But you know I'm not lying. That's why you can't call me a liar. You can't say I'm lying. You can only say something else. You can only say something stupid. You can only try to disparage me or something like that, but you can't say I'm lying. This dude pulled a gun on the police, a fake gun, but the police thought it was real. And he lived to tell the story. All the other police officers pulled up and said, well, let's just work it out, see if we can work this thing out. The rest of the story goes as follows. When the individual who had raised the rifle at the officer appeared on the second floor walkway, reporting that 2 people had been shot, he was cooperative and was taken into custody without further incident. Ooh, must be nice. While that was happening, other officers who had arrived on scene began rendering medical aid to the male and the female who had been shot. Both people who were shot were transported to a local hospital in stable condition with non-life-threatening injuries. The rifle recovered on the scene was a Crosman AK-1 full auto air cartridge BB gun. A full auto air cartridge BB gun. 2 other edged weapons were recovered on scene. They are consistent with the object that the male who was shot was seen carrying. The officer involved in the shooting is Austin Homburger, assigned to the downtown area response team and had been employed with the CSPD for 9 years. The individual with the rifle was questioned. Woo, fam, check this out. The individual with the rifle was questioned and released pending additional investigation. At the time, he has not been charged with the crime and is not being identified. Who is this guy? I don't know. I'm just asking. Who is this guy? Who is this guy that he could cause all of that mayhem, get a couple of people shot, pull a gun on the police, and he actually shot the BB gun at the police. Crazy. But how does this guy get to shoot at the police with the BB gun, get a couple of people shot because of his actions, and not face any consequences? They questioned him. They let him go. They didn't even say they arrested him. They say he got questioned and he was released. He was released. So he didn't get arrested, didn't have to make bond or nothing. He was just questioned and released. And at this time, they're uncertain if charges will even be filed. Amazing. The double standards need to be studied. Well, I guess they have been studied. Yeah. Oh, man. Anyway, fam. Joy Reid says Stephen A. Smith gets paid big money to tear black people down. Yeah, fam. She said it. Joy Reid says Stephen A. Smith gets paid big money. Joy Reid said Stephen A. Smith gets paid big money to tear black people down. Stephen A. Smith getting paid to tear black people down? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Give me a thumbs up if you believe it. If you believe, Joy Reid, that Stephen A. Smith gets paid big money to tear black people down, give me a thumbs up if you believe it. Thumbs down if you say, nah, man, she tripping. She tripping. She don't know Stevie. That's my dude. Thumbs up if you believe it. Thumbs down if you don't. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. China up. Vicky up. Marcus up. Mr. J up. Up. Akiro up. Boo Clay up. Connie Hodge up. Lee Smith up. Anita Palmer up. Justin, what is this? Justin McCullican? Justin McCullican, down. Tim up. Jody up. Justin, you standing on the island all by yourself on this one. Seventh level up. Cyrus Antoinette up. Trudy up. So it looks like everybody, and pretty much everybody believes Joy's comments about Stephen A. Smith. Believe that Stephen A. Smith gets paid big money to tear black people down. I don't believe it. I know it. I know he does. He's too consistent with it, and he stays on code. He never tears white people down or anybody else, any other groups of people. He never tear them down. He only focuses on his own people, tearing his own people down. And he only talks tough when he's talking about his own people, when he's talking to his own people. I seen him years ago, fam. When I knew he was a sucker, when I knew Stephen A. was a coward, I knew for a fact he was a coward when I believe that dude's name was Ray Rice, who got in the jam for putting his hands on his woman, on his wife. And Stephen A. said something to the effect of the woman not need to make sure she's not doing anything to provoke a man into doing something like that. And this white woman who he was working with got on his head. I mean, she was all on his head. She jumped on Twitter and she broke company policy by publicly disparaging him. She broke policy. Guess who ESPN suspended? Ding, 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 ding. You guessed it. Stephen A. Stephen A. Yes, a boss. They suspended Stephen A. Stephen A. did what he normally does for his bosses. He spoke and gave an opinion on black folks' business. He spoke and gave an unpopular opinion on black folks' business. And a white woman got offended. And the white folks at ESPN punished Stephen A. I think they suspended him for 2 weeks, made him apologize. They tarred him publicly, made him apologize. He apologized. Look, fam, she broke company protocol. She broke the policy. She broke the rules of the company. And he had to apologize because he offended a white woman. And y'all think that him saying these things about Joy Reid and Jasmine Crockett and other Black women is just him doing his job as a sports journalist. First and foremost, Joy Reid and Jasmine Crockett don't play sports. One is in the media, the other is in politics. Stephen A is not a media person. He's not, well, I guess he's in the media now, but he's not a politician. So why is he speaking? His job is not to cover media personalities. His job is supposed to be to cover sports. That's supposed to be where this expertise is. But he oftentimes goes viral for moments outside of sports that have nothing to do with sports. And it's oftentimes because of his takes against members of the Black community. He loves to talk about members of the Black community and Black community in general. But I have yet to hear him speak on the white community in general. He likes to call it, hey man, this is just tough love. Where's the tough love for the white community? I'll wait. I want to know what that tough love is. Because, since you are fair and impartial, you like to talk about what everybody's got going on. You like to talk about how you're fair and all of this stuff. And, you don't take nothing off nobody and you're going to keep it real and you solid. Well, when are you going to start being solid against the white folks when they mess up? When are you going to start being solid against white folks' transgressions? Or even Asian people, or even Latina people? When are you going to start? When are you going to start being solid and honest and real about them? Your number one target, your most aggressive vitriol with your commentary is reserved for Black folks. Anytime you want to start talking tough, like you're a gangster or something, it's always about a Black man. It's always about the Black community. And I'm going to tell you this. But when you talk about the white folks, you humble yourself. I remember how a lot of people were up in arms about the Cowboys owner Jerry Jones being seen in that racist mob picture where they were standing around at a school refusing to allow Black kids to enter that school. And I remember how Stephen A.'s response was very tamed and how he didn't believe that should cost Jerry Jones any financial or character equity. I remember him distinctly defending Jerry Jones. Hey, that was a long time ago. That was how much time has to pass before you can be cleared of committing racist acts? 40 years? 4 years? 4 months? 4 days? What is it? And who determines that? Yeah, Joy Reid ain't said nothing wrong. She ain't said nothing wrong. So Joy Reid said this, by the way, fam, in a clip on TikTok by Carrie Champion. She addressed Stephen A. Smith's claim that she was pushed out of MSNBC because the numbers don't lie. He said, I got fired for ratings, she said. And I'm like, excuse me, sir. You got $100 million for a show with half my ratings at my worst. I had to literally Google his numbers. Joy pushed even further, arguing that Stephen's value to certain networks isn't rooted in performance. They're paying you not for your numbers, my friend. They're paying you because you're willing to say the nasty things about Black people that they want to say. She continued. You're willing to take their degradation of Black women and put it in the mouth of a Negro. MSNBC confirmed Joy's departure earlier this year in a memo to staff. Joy is leaving the network, and we thank her for her countless contributions over the years, President Rebecca Cutler wrote, highlighting her NAACP Image Award and announcing rotating anchors for her former slot. The timing during Donald Trump's ongoing push to dismantle DEI policies fueled broader conversations about the political pressure and media choices. Smith dismissed those conversations back then, saying the situation was simple. People want to make this about a race issue, but the reality is the numbers don't lie. To read the rest, okay, here we go. All right, so basically, Stephen A. Smith tried to make it seem like it was about numbers, and Joy Reid debunked that by calling them out and telling them straight up, look, boy, your numbers was half the numbers that I was doing, and you're getting paid $100 million, but you're not getting paid $100 million because of your talent. You're getting paid $100 million because of your propensity to drag your own people in the mud and throw them under the bus. So I heard one dude in the comments on DL, well, I read one dude in the comments on DL Hughley's IG say that most athletes are Black. Can't really make that argument. Well, most politicians are white, but you don't see him dragging politicians. He always talking that political stuff. He always trying to speak on politics and Black issues. Anything regarding Black people, he like to speak. He like to jump in and talk about. He try to make sure he give Massa side to the story. Got to stay neutral, or make Massa seem like some type of hero. So I'm debunking that whole argument about the whole most athletes are Black, so he has to talk about the Black athletes. Got to talk about somebody. He's going to talk about them. No, but even if you try to make that argument, what about the other 30% of ball players? He don't spend no time dragging them. He don't get tough when he's talking about them. And again, like I said about politicians, he ain't dragging no other politicians. He's preoccupied with calling out Jasmine Crockett. Why? They gave him a mandate. Look here, boy. You gonna say the things that we can't say, and we're gonna give you this money. You cool with that? You better believe I am, Master. You want me to dance? Then show you how much I'm willing to cooperate? Okay. Yeah. Dancing for Massa. You ain't fooling me, bro. You can't fool me by bringing on a few Black people every now and then and stroking them, glazing them, talking about how you friends with this guy, that guy. Man, I don't think Stephen A. have any real friends. I think that the athletes who are the athletes who he do call friends, who he do consider to be a friend, I think those athletes are only with him, only rock with him because of the position that he had at ESPN. They only rock with him. If he didn't have that position, they would be nowhere around him, including these rappers. I've seen some rappers hang out. No, Stephen A. all right. Stephen A. this, Stephen A. that. Nah, man. Nah, dude. And they know for a fact, if Stephen A. didn't have the power that he had, if he didn't have the position that he had at ESPN, they wouldn't even be around a dude like that. They wouldn't be around him. I don't care what kind of position you got, buddy. What kind of person are you? That's what I want to know. What kind of person are you? I got friends from all walks of life, family, all walks of life. Because it's about character more than anything. What type of person are you? That's what I want to know. It's people out there that, you know, they got a lot of influence. They're big and all this stuff. And you know, they got the big names and stuff like that. But I avoid them. If I'm in the same room with them, fam, I try to stay away from them. I don't even want them to speak to me because I'm not speaking to them. I don't want to get caught up in no pictures with them or nothing. I just avoid them. I just go on the other side of the room or something. I try to stay away from them. I don't want nothing to do with them. I don't care nothing about them. Like whatever happened to them, train, plane, you know, 18-wheeler, whatever. It don't matter to me. I'm totally indifferent. Would not lose one wink of sleep. Yeah. In fact, might even inspire me to start writing or something. You know, do something. You know, whatever it is that get you going. Might want to be a cause for celebration. May want to have a toast or something. Yeah. But I'm definitely not going to lose any sleep behind it. I'm not like some of these people who are so hard up for Black representation that I'll take anybody, that I'll accept anybody. I'm not that dude. I'm not that dude. But at the same time, I am that dude who root for us because I know what we're up against. And I know that we have devils out there that are constantly trying to stop us from advancing. They're working on us. They're working on our children. They're working on our future, and they're trying to destroy us on a daily basis. This is not paranoia. These are facts. So when I see us doing well, I tend to automatically gravitate and root. I'm rooting for you. I'm hoping you do well. Because when you do well, you make me look well. When you do well, I know that you're probably putting your family in position to do well and more. That means more and more of us are doing well. So I like that. So I do not dismiss prominent members of our community quickly. You know, I try to give people grace. Okay, what is this about? Okay, that was messed up, but is it pathological? If it's pathological, if I determine that it's pathological, then at that point, that means you're an enemy, you're against us, and I don't want nothing to do with you. Stephen A. is an enemy. And the sooner that we all realize that, the sooner we can move on. But the problem with that is that eventually Stephen A. is going to be fired from ESPN. But the thing is that when they fire him, all they're going to do is find the next, because there's always somebody willing to step up and throw our people under the bus. And it's always somebody in position of power who got the money, who's controlling the purse strings, the gatekeepers who are willing to give them money to throw us under the bus. So we're going to always have these type of step and fetch it, chuck and jivers to deal with. We're always going to have to deal with them types. And they're going to always be granted a platform, a large platform, to try to trick us, try to calm us down. You know, these personalities, these television personalities, these radio personalities, these guys who have these super large platforms, they're the new pastors. They're the new preachers in our community. They're the preachers in the community now. Remember how it used to be when Black folks would get rowdy about something, they get uptight about something, they'd be ready to tear something up, and they'd send the pastor to calm everybody down. The preacher man start calming everybody down. Hey, don't do that. You know, I don't think that's a good idea. We need to pray. Lord, help us. Lord's going to help us. Lord, let us pray. Let us pray. Yeah, you know. And this is even while they was hanging preachers. You know, they hanged a lot of preachers also. The moment that preacher said one thing they didn't agree with, oh, you dead. The moment that preacher said one thing where he wanted to stand on his own and hold his ground and stand up for his prop and keep his property, they killed him. They would hang him. They didn't care. They didn't care if they hung a black baby. They didn't care if they hung a preacher. They didn't care if they hung a mother. They didn't care. And they still don't care. That's what some of us got to realize. So these people like Stephen A., these personalities, they're the new preachers in the community. So you got to be really careful when you hear them talking. You be thinking like, oh, he's just saying what's on his mind. And you got to understand, you got to think about it. You got to say, why would ESPN let him talk like that? And so many black people disagree with what he says. So many black people disagree with what he says. In fact, I would say the majority of black people disagree with Stephen A. Smith's commentary, but he's still on the air at ESPN. Why? Because ESPN's brass are feeding him the information and saying, get him, Steve. Do whatever you want to do, man. Just make sure you cover those topics. I can guarantee you, from time to time, when stuff happens in the black community, and that those executives stick their head in the door, or they call them up and say, yeah, what you going to talk about, Steve? Yeah, you're going to address that issue with Jasmine Crockett, right? Yeah, you know what, boss? Yeah, I'm on it right now. I'm on it. I'm on it. Yeah. You know, Steve, yeah, you know, I heard you talking about the Jasmine Crockett thing, but you don't think you could have went a little stronger on that? I don't think you committed enough. You know, I really need to know what your stance is on that. Can you express yourself a little bit more there? Gotcha, boss. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care what he says. I'm watching his actions. So he can say what he want to say. He can say whatever he want to say. He can try to say that I'm out of pocket, that I'm wrong for saying what I'm saying. But I'm watching what he do. I'm listening to his words that come out of his mouth. You can't gaslight me. I see. I'm watching your consistency. When you gonna throw the white folks under the bus? When you gonna grow off some balls and call them out? When's the last time you said anything about Brett Favre stealing all that welfare money? When's the last time you spoke on that? When? When you gonna speak on that again, Steve? In fact, I don't recall you ever speaking on it. And I know if you did speak on it, I can guarantee you didn't drag him. I can guarantee you didn't talk about how he destroyed his legacy. I bet you didn't say that. I bet you didn't say none of that. Yeah. You name one white athlete out there that's on LeBron James's level that you talk about, that you drag, that you talk about how you can't stand them and you don't like them and all this stuff. Name one. You can't. You ain't. And you ain't gonna name one. Because you're a slave to the dollar, bro. You're a slave to the money, man. You're a slave. You're a 2025 going on 2026 slave. Joy Reid ain't said nothing wrong. I tell you, somebody who did say something wrong is Donald Trump, your president. That dude. Oh man, that dude right there. He just don't know how to get out of his own way. Donald Trump has to be the most uncouth president in the history of civilization. I'm not even talking about just in America. I'm talking about civilization. He has to be the most uncouth leader in the history of civilization. Talk about no class at all. This dude has no class. No class at all. I want y'all to listen to something he said, fam. I want you to listen to what he said. Check this dude out.
Let me tell you, black people love Trump. I got the biggest vote. I got the biggest vote with black people. They know a scam better than anybody. They know what it is to be scammed. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. We did great. Thank you. I like this guy. Let me tell you, black people love Trump. I got the biggest vote. I got the biggest vote with black people. They know a scam better than anybody. They know what it is to be scammed. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. We did great. Thank you. I like this guy. Let me tell you, black people love Trump. I got the biggest vote. I got the biggest vote with black people. They know a scam better than anybody. They know what it is to be scammed. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, let me say this, man. First and foremost, he didn't get the biggest vote from black people. He lied. Another lie. That's number one. He did not get the biggest vote from black folks. That's number one. So what's this thing about his thing about black people know a scam? You know, what's that about? So this is what he said during various rallies, not just one. He said this during various rallies. He said, black people love Trump. I got the biggest vote. They know it's scam. They know a scam better than anybody. They know what it is to be scammed. So check this out. But let me just say that you damn sure, Skippy, we do know a scam when we see one. We do know what it's like to be scammed. I mean, we got scammed out of our history. Yeah, so we know what it's like to be scammed. We got scammed out of our names. We got scammed out of our language. We got scammed out of our bloodline. We got scammed out of our land. And even when we came over here, we got scammed out of the land that was promised to us. Yeah, we got scammed out of our futures. We got scammed out of generations. We got scammed out of life. Think about all of the soldiers that have fought for this country, who put their lives on the line, who got scammed. Say, man, go over here, we're gonna fight for the country, we're gonna feed everything, we're gonna come back, and everything gonna be better. I'm gonna be treated equal. I'm gonna finally be able to walk the streets and not have to worry about anything. Did you know that they hung soldiers? Did you know that? They hung military vets, black veterans. Did you know thousands of black veterans have been lynched? Did you know that? Oh, they got scammed. I think that would qualify as being scammed. Now, I could tell you what Trump was probably thinking when he said scammed. He probably was thinking about black folks being familiar with criminality. Yeah, he probably was thinking along those lines. Not really, but even saying that is off because we know who the biggest scammers are. We know that for a fact. We know that for a fact. He should have used himself as an example. That would have been even more accurate because he's one of the biggest scams that has ever existed in American history. And it's still working. But it can only work on the slow pokes. So when you talk about black folks being scammed, that is some truth to that. You got to hesitate when you use the word truth and Trump name in the same sentence, because hey, you know how that go. But yeah, scam, yeah. And this is why critics and policy experts view his stance as problematic. Despite touting record low black unemployment rates during his term, which reached their lowest point under the subsequent administration, analysis indicate many of Trump's economic policies, such as tax cuts, disproportionately favored white households. Did you get that? Catch that? Anybody catch that? So his economic policies, such as tax cuts, disproportionately favored white households. Trump's proposed $500 billion platinum plan for Black Americans was criticized for being a short, two-page document lacking detail compared to the Democratic proposals. Critics argue the policy impact has been a bait and switch that threatens the Black middle class. Did y'all catch that? Critics point to a history of controversial actions and statements, including his role in the birthism movement against President Obama, his comments on the Central Park Five, now exonerated, and housing discrimination lawsuits against his father's company in the 1970s. They forget about those little details. Yeah, they are always forgetting about those details. I wonder why they forget about those details so often. They'll just skip right over those details and just start talking about everything but what's currently being talked about. Yeah, they talk about everything but what's currently being talked about. The Trump administration enacted executive orders attacking diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives and attempting to alter the narrative of the American history by removing certain historical context from national park and museum websites. So how is it that our history, the little history that they do show Black folks in America, how is that little history now being attacked and being erased? They're actually scrubbing their websites and scrubbing museums of any trail of Black history that they don't want to be promoted. They're not scrubbing these museums for other people's history, just the Blacks, just the Blacks. So yeah, so Trump, as usual, he's talking out both sides of his neck. As any good scammer would do, you give a person some truth and it's cloaked in lies ultimately. Why would a president or any prominent dignitary, why would a dignitary make such a statement? This dude, ain't nobody gonna be able to catch up with him in terms of being uncouth and having no class. Nobody would ever catch him. He was already bad in his first term. He already did enough and said enough inflammatory stuff in his first term. That would have been enough right there. This second term, see, this is why you don't allow people like him to get in these type of positions in the first place. All they're going to do is they're going to rev it up. And that's exactly what he did. voting for him a second time around, allowing him to get back in when he's already been in and he's seen how far he can push the envelope. He's seen how far he could go. And you put him right back in while he's sitting on 34 convictions, and you put him right back in. What is the incentive for him to not break the law? What is the incentive for him to act like he got some damn sense, to talk like a man who has some type of decorum? What is the incentive? There is none. Because uncivilized mutts put him back in office. The uncivilized mutt said, hey, man, we like what you did last time. Keep going, Donnie. You're making us proud. You're making us proud. That's how that go. Boy, this country is in trouble, fam. Now, I know some of y'all are looking forward to some type of civil war. Remember how it turned out last time and you thought it was going to turn out a different way? That's what's going to happen again. But it's going to be worse for you this next time around, because now we know 100% for a fact you cannot be trusted. For 100%, we know that you are treaty breakers, you are deal breakers. We know. We know. It ain't going to be nothing like you think. So be careful what you wish for out there. And just remember, you got children too. You got a family too. Who's going to be protecting them? Who's going to be protecting them while you out in the streets fighting? What's up, Gary? What it do? JC King Media, what up? To Mario Alejandro, what's up? Anita Pippin. What's up, Anita Pippin? Bertland Williams. Bertland. Ooh, that's a cold name right there. Bertland. Bertland. Is it Bertland or Bertland? I'm thinking it's Bertland. Probably pronounce it Bertland. Bertland. Bertland Williams. Ooh, it's cold. Either pronunciation is cold-blooded, man. It's Bertland. You're on the basketball court, you're out there playing a game of pickup. You're picking your players. Man, I got Bertland, man. Come on, Bertland. That boy got that name that stand out. That's my first time hearing of a Bertland. Bertland. That sounds like one of them names where you have the second, Bertland the second, Bertland the third, Bertland the fourth. Was that David Peaston? What's up? What's up? What's up, Cyrus? Campbell Soup. Greetings. I don't know what happened just now, fam. Boy, the devil be busy. The devil is busy. But that's my time, fam. I appreciate y'all joining the live. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're in the world. Tomorrow, same bad time, same bad channel. 2 p.m. Central Time. You dig? No more talk.